Von Miller spoke.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know how he got on the Cowboys' radar screen, it appears?
Well, I mean, from high school.
Apparently he was, hanging out in Vegas and ran into Dak Prescott. Hit it.
It's crazy because I ran into Dak in Vegas probably like a month ago. He was sitting in the high limit gambling. I just sat down with Dak and we just started gambling together and talking. And I was like, hey, man, y'all, it's about time for Dak. It's about time, you got to break through one of these teams. You got to break through one of these years. I think this year you'll be able to do it. Like, you got everybody to do it. And that was, I didn't have any inkling on, being a Dallas Cowboy. They just happened naturally. And then the Cowboys reached out and I was just like, bro, this is a sign. Like, this is a sign for me. And, we worked on it, talked to some other teams, but ultimately, my love for the Dallas Cowboys, my chicken farm is here, my family's here. Just by being a Dallas Cowboy and wearing that star, it was beneficial to me and my family, and that's what ultimately made the decision for me.
Top of the afternoon, or top of the evening, I should say. It's your boy B Jizzle, and we are live back in the lab. The Big Three. I think I got one in the booth on the way, but I got my guy Bob, the Cannabis Cowboy, tapped in with me here today. It's game day today, Bob. How's the weather? How's the weather down there in Colorado for game day today?
Oh, man, it is hotter than Hades in summertime, man. It's very hot out here. Yesterday, 95, 97, 95, 98. It was crazy. It's a little bit less warm today, but whatever. I'm inside. I'm in the mothership. Everything's fine. It's a little cooler in here, so we're doing okay.
Well, I hear it's hot in Arizona, and we're going to get to that because we got a live look in from our next podcast on Facebook Fanatic tomorrow, so stay tuned for more of that. But as always, we're streaming live on 3 platforms. Shout out to all of our Green Bay supporters on Built Different Group. That's right. You have held down the ship. You are supporting the Built Different Group podcast efforts, and your support does not go unnoticed. We want to make sure we get you your recognition. So shout out to our 42 subscribers on the board. You know who you are. We can't go through all of you, but we gave you your love. So shout out to all of our Built Different Group supporters. We're live on Facebook. We're also live on LinkedIn. Shout out to all my veteran content creators going to Military Creator Con in Fort Worth in May of 2027. Appreciate all the professionals tapping in, and then all of the subs on YouTube. It's game day. I know some Cowboy fans is excited, baby. A lot has changed in a week, Bob.
Yes, it has.
You remember, I think as soon as we clip that, will Trayshawn Holden stock decrease on a muff punt? I think they may have watched us and they released them shortly after. So this Cowboys team is not effing around. And speaking of effing around, after I hollered at Jerry and he told me to say it was back up in Seattle, the next day they signed Von Miller for a 1-year deal. So I want to get your reactions on this right now as we kick up the show. How are you feeling about the Von Miller signing?
Well, to go back to Trayshawn real quick, if you guys go back and watch the video, I think BG specifically asked me if I think that muffed punt was going to affect his job as in the Dallas Cowboys, or at least his availability to be competitive. And I said no, because I am brainwashed by the fact that we give every hurt and bad player continuous times to do the same thing over and over. Whereas Trayshawn made one mistake, a pretty big critical error in a game, and they decided get rid of him. And that thusly made way for Von Miller, which I'm really, really happy. I think a lot of us, when we see these kinds of signings, we say to ourselves, well, why are we going to get a guy who's so old, who's so late in his career? What I think people, first of all, forget that not only is he pretty cheap, we didn't sign him for $30 million or anything like that. That guy's going to be a coach on and off the field. He's going to be a motivator. How hard is it going to be to screw up on the defense if you've got Von Miller breathing down your neck? If you've got one of the best rushing linebackers to ever play the game on you, telling you, you effed up, do this again, you're going to not want to make mistakes. And he's going to hold people accountable. So this is going to be just basically an active monster linebacker defensive end on the roster with our team at any given time.
Well, we're going to be talking about players to watch as we got the Cardinals today, the last game of the evening. There was quite a few games here today. I didn't watch any of them. Did you, Bob?
Nah, I saw some pieces. I think I want to watch the door, but then I went to the gym because who cares?
Yeah, I didn't watch any of them. The only one I'm going to be watching is the Dallas Cowboys. So if you're watching the Dallas Cowboys, this is the pregame show. It's supposed to be the Big Three. We'll see if Kelz will be able to join us. I think she's having some technical difficulties, but we'll also be live for the post-game show afterward as we are locked in. The Big Three has decided to come back for this season to kick off our pregame and postgame shows because we're going to talk about some things that happened. So let us know in the comments below, how are you feeling on all 3 platforms about the Von Miller signing? Because a lot of folks, Bob, were saying, hey, he washed up. He washed up. He old. You seen the photos and the memes going around him looking like, an old person or something. You know what I mean? And basically, this guy like he said, he could roll out of bed and get 9 sacks. And if you look at his record with the Commanders, who he played with last year, he had 9 sacks. And then you look at the fact that we didn't re-sign Clowney, and everybody was hollering and screaming like, hey, we need to re-sign Clowney. Well, we got that in spades back with Von Miller, because if Von Miller can play limited amount of snaps with these Cowboys, and we're not talking about tonight because, we're not seeing any of the starters, but to come in week 1, if I'm Jackson Dart, I'm literally shaking in my boots, Bob, because Von Miller, Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, Quinnen Williams, DeMarvion Overshown. I don't think we're going to realize what this defense is going to be, but I'm looking forward to who we're going to see tonight, because we're going to see the 2s and 3s as these men continue to get this job. So which player are you most watching as we continue the players to watch for the upcoming show? This is on the DallasCowboys.com site. So, Bob, do you have any particular player that you're looking at tonight, or any particular unit?
Yeah, I'm specifically concerned, as I have been for quite a while, about this the cornerbacks. Obviously, we're not going to see any of the starting cornerbacks tonight, but the secondary and tertiary teams, the second and third teams, have been playing okay. The one thing that I did see was really good, effective defense overall last week. A very, very good execution of holding people to small gains, except for Kalen Carson, I believe, who had 2 very, 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 very big pass interference calls, or
he got
like
cooked,
that.
And it got flagged, and
we've seen a lot of that, dude. That's what I'm trying to say, man. That he got cooked is some shit we said last year, probably 4 times for 4 different players. And I don't see anything any better right now. I don't care about how Savon Revel's having a good camp. I don't see that guy locking up against AJ Brown and being successful. So what we need to do is have a good cornerback unit. I don't know if that means go with what we go with and hope we get enough pressure on the outside and from the linebackers to where coverage doesn't matter anymore. But if you've got a great quarterback that can sit in the pocket and not be scared of that kind of stuff, we could actually get shredded sometimes. So I'm a little worried about the cornerbacks, but I don't know. I feel just as bad for the second running backs.
Right. And as we talk about the second of units, a big battle that's going on currently, as we've seen both quarterbacks in Seattle start off. We've seen Sam Howell in the first half, and then we've seen Joe Milton in the second half. And I thought Joe picked up the pace a little in the second half. I kind of got them at a split. They both threw for a touchdown against Seattle. But tonight, I'm hearing Joe Milton will be in the first half. So we're going to see this quarterback 2 battle. This is a good problem to have. So if you see that scrolling across down in the bottom, let us know which unit you're looking for, because Bob says he's looking at the secondary. I'm looking at QB2, because in case the inevitable happens, we got to make sure we got somebody that can keep the ship afloat, so to speak. Because wasn't it comfortable all those years that we had Cooper Rush, Bob? We never had to worry about a quarterback 2 battle, right?
Yeah, but again, I think it's also realistic and safe to say that if it comes down to us having to use our second quarterback for any amount of time this season, we're probably going to be losing games. Dak Prescott is absolutely one of the best quarterbacks in the league, one of the most accurate quarterbacks you'll ever see, and absolutely one of the best at reading the defenses, because he's been in the league a while doing it. So if he's out, our chances of going to anywhere in the postseason are extremely small anyway, but it is still good if we have to pull him out for reasons like, hey, we just don't want to play him anymore because we're already in the playoffs kind of shit, then having a capable quarterback to come in there and finish the job and win is definitely important. But it's only important in that particular sense, I think.
Y'all let us know down in the comments below, who do you hope to see quarterback 2 battle tonight out of Sam Howell and Joe Milton? But players to watch as we're getting some updates. Jashawn Barham, the rookie, after dealing with a groin injury, Cowboys rookie linebacker, will return to practice field this week and should make his preseason debut against Arizona. So give it up, our rookie. We're going to see for the first time tonight. Earlier in training camp, there was plenty of praise being thrown around for Barham for the likes of Stephen Jones, Brian Schottenheimer, Jerry Jones. Of course, they're going to talk about him and say that he's their war daddy. The Cowboys have had Barham as an inside linebacker, but have also moved him up the edge to pass rusher a few times in practice. How much he will play will be determined, but it'll be the first chance that we get to see of Jay Sean Barham. So let us know in the comments below. Bob, are you looking forward to seeing what this guy got? Because I heard he can just throw folks around on the field like weights in the gym.
Yeah, man, I really love the defense a lot. I love wide receiver play on the offense, but the defense to me, I just really love it. I've always been a fan of safeties, Roy Williams, Scott Case, a couple of really great guys for the Cowboys. But I've been asking this for a while: who is going to be our next Sean Lee? We haven't had a commanding linebacker in a long time. We really hoped it was going to be LVE. Dude was that guy, the prototypical linebacker. You want to be a bad boy. Obviously, injuries kept him off, just like Sean Lee. So we haven't had anybody come in and solidify that linebacker unit. And it is such an important unit to have because those folks are responsible for covering all kinds of wide receivers and tight ends. And on top of that, making sure that our running backs and fullbacks aren't running roughshod all over us. So to see this guy, who is not a little linebacker at all, he's a big dude. To see him there, to see the availability of some of the other guys that we have, I feel like it's coming around. And most importantly, it's going to be what Christian Parker does. Because, man, I just saw some really good defense last week. So, yes, Jay Sean is someone I'm definitely looking forward to seeing because I need to know that if we need to come down to second and third string players to do in rotations, that these guys are going to come in and do what they need to do and not poop the bed on us.
Yeah, great segue. As I got an oxymoron here. It says, wise fool, stupid smart. Hey, man, that's quite a name. He says QB2 and the whole entire defense is what I'm looking to see. Yeah, us both, because we know this was the worst defense in the league, bro. You know, I'm so ready for this season to kick off, right? Because, you know, that whole 511 points and shit that everybody scored on us last year. I mean, people are cashing in on that. Oh, the Cowboys is the worst defense. Well, guess what? Linda, listen. We're not going to be the worst this year.
Yeah.
But
they're going to talk about how bad the defense is, but they don't want to go ahead and praise one of the best offenses in the league last year.
They know it's coming. They know it's coming. And with the signing of Von Miller, you know what I love most of all, especially on Build Different Group, Bob? I haven't heard from Eagle fans all offseason.
Yeah.
They've been really quiet. They've been really quiet because I think their QB been throwing up 50-11 picks in training camp, or in practice rather, or against the Patriots in their their scrimmage or whatnot. But in other news, we know QB one's not going to be playing tonight, so we're going to see both Joe and Sam. But all important game too. And there's a lot of Cowboy fans that are out there in Arizona right now, Bob, because I know from back in the day, there's tons of Cowboy fans everywhere, but especially in Arizona.
Yes, that's a big one out there. They've got a huge following out there. It's always really cool to watch, to see those games, if I'm being honest. It reminds me of growing up in Miami back in the days, because Miami was 50-50 Dallas Cowboys, Miami Dolphins, and the stadium's a lot. That's just kind of the way it was. But yeah, man, it's going to be a good game. It's old school vibes. I was talking to you about it in the green room before we started this show. I asked, and I don't know if anybody knows, but the last time the Cardinals were in the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys division, the NFC East, it's been a long time. And we used to have some serious battles with them back in the 90s. It was really one of those teams that kind of gave us the kind of battles that's like the Packers give us now. And we got a big history with those guys like Aeneas Williams and some of the dudes for that squad. So the Cardinals battle with the Cowboys goes pretty far back, and there's sort of a mutual respect. I never really hear a lot of BS going on between the two, because the Cardinals are never really great. So
yeah, shout out to One Star One family. They are out there. This is their tailgate rally event right now going down in Arizona. This is just live feed from Cowboy Kev. Shout out to Cowboy Kev, Star Status Cowboys Connection president. He'll be live on Facebook Fanatic tomorrow as soon as he gets back from Arizona, and he taps in right off the plane. He's going to join us on the podcast to talk about his club, but he is out there with his club members, and they are deep, Bob. This ain't no just little, gathering of 40, 50. It's a couple hundred, 200, 300, 50, 1100 out there.
It's a big club, man. They've been doing it. It's a big club, man. That's awesome, man.
We play Arizona in the regular season here too as well.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Kelz tabbing in on the something happened with Kelz. What's it? Megan, Shorty, Myrick, Girl, Barry, and Bob slacking. What is wrong with Kelz? I don't know.
She asked for the link. She asked for the link. I sent it again just because I think it's.
Yeah, it's the same link I sent you. It should work.
Yes.
But anyway, that's her excuse why she late. Okay, come on, girl. Go on and get your clothes on and come get on the show. But anyway, let's get back to the players to watch according to the DallasCowboys.com. I've already shared that link down in the comments below. players to watch. We already went over Jayshon Barham. We know he's going to be his first action here tonight. Talking about Joe Milton on that QB battle. One would assume Milton would get the start of this game after splitting the game last week with Sam Howell. Milton was strong in the second half against Seattle. I thought the offense did get moving more with Joe, especially from what I seen in the stands at Lumen Field last week. He says, I know he was criticized for doing too much last year, but honestly, I want to see him take off and run a little bit more in this game.
It's probably, I think this one, he's got ability to do that.
Yeah. You know, we're going to see how Arizona's defense lacks or is thereof. But, I mean, the fight that this Cowboys team had last week, I hope to see that again this week. That team didn't care that they won the Super Bowl, didn't care it was the first game of the season, didn't care that it was the 2s and the 3s bye. They had energy out there.
Yeah, big energy.
We learned about a guy named Caleb, or I'm sorry, what's his name?
Yeah, exactly.
Camden. We learned about Camden, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's this whole wide receiver thing. I'm even hearing Cowboy fans right now saying, why, you know, Turpin's going to get cut, you know, because Ryan Flournoy is like wide receiver 3. And we got Camden, you know, his spectacular grabs in the first game. So let us know in the comments, who do you think is going to break out in the wide receiver unit tonight? Are we going to see some more of Cam? Or we're going to see some more of not Trayshawn Holden, because the Cowboys released him. They were not playing. Bob, they let him go with the quickness.
Going back to what you said earlier about you not hearing much about the Eagles fans coming and talking shit simply because of what's going on probably with their practices. But really, would you talk if Pickens now has a full training camp with the Dallas Cowboys, who's lighting it up in training camp?
They said he's been the best at training camp. All I've seen is film of him roasting our secondary,
catching touchdowns left and boom, boom. Like, I don't even understand it. This guy may be one, if not the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. I mean, he's sitting on the other side of one of the best Dallas Cowboy wide receivers ever. So, I mean, that's some stuff right now. I'm trying real hard. I was talking to Eric B earlier about this kind of feeling that we have right now, the whole fan base. We're trying really hard to not buy into it and get too fanatical, because we've seen this happen a lot. But there's something a little tiny bit different about what's going on right now with the Cowboys. We obviously haven't played a regular season game, but what I'm saying is there's a pretty good reason that we can be really optimistic about what we're doing, considering nobody from the offense left from last year. That was a number 2 offense in the NFL scoring. And we've got major improvements on the defense. So, man, it's hard even for me, who is as jaded of a Cowboys fan as you could possibly be. It's even hard for me to contain myself, knowing that Pickens and these guys are ready to roll. I mean, nobody's even saying anything about Javonte Williams. I think he's probably going to beat his yardage from last year.
Well, here's the difference. You got a head coach in the trenches with his players. As you look in, as Caleb Downs had even challenged Shoddy to come and do wind sprints after practice. I mean, you got to love it. Now, granted, they're not out there, you know, sprinting to win the 100-yard dash in the, in the Olympics or anything like that. But, you know, the fact that, you know, the culture is changing, you're seeing players buy into this. And I think a result of that was what we've seen with the Seattle Seahawks game, was that the Cowboys' energy came out. And no matter who's on the field, you know, no matter if you're at 2, 3, or 4 or whatever, you just signed up and we're trying to get you on the squad. I want to see some more players break out. I want to see a different player, like we learned about who Cam was last game. I wonder who we're going to learn about this game. Y'all let us know in the comments below.
It'd be good to see some picks. It'd be good to see a linebacker make a big pick, or a linebacker make a big hit in the gap, causing a fumble. Just those kinds of things, man, because last week I felt like we were around the ball a lot. And we were not like that last year. We were around the ball. And again, these are young kids. These are the second and third stringers, and some folks that have been around a while. They went into Seattle, into that stadium, and pulled a win out of there and absolutely skunked that team for the entirety of the rest of the game after they scored that touchdown. So, I mean, I see something a little different. I see a bit of a spirit that's kind of rising up in this defense right now, and the team overall, because I've already bought into Shoddy. But Parker seems to be doing some things that his reputation is definitely true, because he seems to be doing some great stuff.
Well, next player to watch against the Arizona Cardinals. We got the game time kicking off here in about 40 minutes. We'll share with you guys before we get off the show ways that you can watch, so that way you can tap in. We had a lot of folks asking, but Nate Thomas is next. Brian Schottenheimer said earlier this week that the Cowboys will be moving some players around ahead of their second preseason game. That was true for Nate Thomas, who primarily had seen second team left tackle but spent most of the week as the second team right tackle on the other side. Oh, typical Cowboys, right? Rookie Drew Shilton took snaps as a second team left tackle for Thomas. This game against the Cardinals serves as an opportunity to show that he could be Dallas's swing tackle, a vital role on this roster. Woo, how you feeling about this offensive line? Because, that's why I'm looking at this quarterback two battle, because, our offensive line gave up some sacks last year, and we got to protect the house with Dak Prescott, especially, the house is a little old. We're going in 11 years in this brand new house we've been paying this car note on. We got to make sure this offensive line stays short up. But, the good thing is, remember when we started off training camp, Bob, we was hearing the competition between Tyler Guyton and Nate Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not heard anything about Tyler Guyton. I guess the front office is happy with him. He's not at risk of losing his position. And I think maybe this is why they're talking about moving Nate around as a swing tackle.
It's possible. But I also know this. I know going into camp, I had a lot of worries about Terrence Steele. And Terrence Steele seems to be pulling his own and doing some good things too. I don't know if he played. Obviously, he probably didn't last week because the starters wouldn't play. But I think that he was one of the bigger doubts on that line. He just seems to be inconsistent. And, out of all the folks on the line, I feel like I hear that guy in a negative way more during the season than I should. But this seems to be a better offseason for him. So hopefully he's cleaning some stuff up, because right tackle is big, man. We need that right side short up just like we need the left side. But the offensive line's quietly been a strength of ours. So I'm hoping, really, really hoping that it stays that way, because if anything gets bad, that's a problem.
Yeah, another shout out to Wise Fool Stupid Smart. He says, I want to see Holden get something going. Hey, man, you got to turn on your notifications, man. Trayshawn Holden was cut about after our last show when we said, is his stock going down? So keep up with us. We appreciate you tapping in here today. Eric Taylor, our green badge, is tapping in. He says, I'm hearing that Steele might get cut or moved on from right tackle. So I'm wondering if TJ Bass gets ribbed at right tackle, since I heard he was offensive line Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, Eric, I'm telling you, man, I'm worried about that. He was a bit of a worry, but again, like I just said, that it seems like at least in camp he's pulling some weight. So hopefully he gets it right, because tackles are not what we need to be messing up with.
What was Kelly talking about? She ain't got the link to the show. Hold on. Kelz, here, click on the link in the comments, Kelz, and join the show.
Doobity-doo. I've sent like 4 links.
Yeah. Anyway, Sarah's tapping in and says the whole vibe around the team just seems different. Even Jerry moving different. I'm telling you, Jerry, I met Jerry up in Seattle, man. And, I just told him, I said, hey, Jerry, love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I didn't even know he had the Von Miller deal up his sleeve. And he smiled at me, grabbed that elbow. He gave me that old, like that grandfather shake, like, yeah, you right on, boy. Because he was on the way of leaving there from midfield after he had just done his interview. But yeah, Jerry got a little energy. I think Jerry's kind of learned to get out of his way. And, by the day it goes by, this Micah Parsons trade, it seems to be better for the Cowboys and worse for the Green Bay Packers. Is, there's all kind of stuff going on with that. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces from that Micah Parsons trade. And now adding Von Miller, this defense is going to be scary, Bob.
Yep.
And we're just talking about the ones. We ain't even talking about who these guys trying to make this squad. Like, that defense coming in game 1 against New York is going to be totally different than what we seen last season.
And we've had squads in the past where you've got the second, if a guy needs to rotate in, that's a second string, has come in and made a better impact than the first stringer. That's kind of the reason what we're going for right now with this depth that we're dealing with right now. I really think that it's going to be some of the past defenses we've seen. Maybe not 100%, like a few years ago with what's his name, bald guy from Washington. But at the same time, I really think it's going to be much, much improved. And I don't know, like Sarah said, everyone's saying this. There's just a different feeling around that team right now, and it may just be us projecting hopefulness for all we know. I don't know, but I still feel like Parker's doing something different, and they're around the ball, man. Hopefully, that's what I see again this game. Every time the ball is near them, they're on the ball. So.
And then there were 3. Welcome to the show, Kelz.
Hey,
you finally were able to tap in.
Well, I never got a text with the link, so.
Well, it's funny because Bob got the same text. But anyway, here we are.
My text message thread.
How you feeling about that Von Miller? How you feeling about? Let's look. This is
nothing.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what we got going on. How you feeling about this Von Miller edition, Kelz?
I mean, I'm cool with it. I mean, it was either going to be him or Jadeveon Clowney. So
I like
Don't sound
Clowney
too
a lot.
excited that we signed a guy that just got 9 sacks in your neck of the woods there last year.
I mean, I'm really indifference. I have an indifference view on it. So
I think that's common too, because a lot of people are looking for someone to make an immediate big impact, and that's not necessarily what he's going to do in terms of on the field. But again, that wasn't really what he was signed for. So it is no one. It's not one of those signings where everyone is like, "Oh, hell yeah, bro, we got Von Miller." Because if we got Von Miller from 10 years ago, we wouldn't have been paying only $8 million for him or whatever we got him for.
Right.
That's the reason why we got him cheap, because he's obviously not doing what he used to do. But $1 million a sack, let's do it.
Yeah,
I think Bremac brings up a great point. The veteran leadership. I don't care,
exactly
which version of Vaughn we get, all of that data, all of that experience. He's won Super Bowls. He's played for multiple teams. He's the current sack leader in the NFL right now. And this veteran leadership, especially to this young linebacker core and this defense, is going to be worth a lot, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And he's already bought into that too, man. And if you watch the same intro that Rich Eisen showed us, that same exact interview, if you watch the rest of it, he goes on to say that exact thing. The reason why I'm here is because I'm also I'm one of the best, if not the greatest teammate in history. And he went on to say about how that's exactly the forefront of why he's here right now, to be one of the greatest teammates, to make us able to get to the bowl and make us able and elevate our team and elevate our game to the point where we can get, or their game to the point where they can excel and be better than they normally would be if he wasn't there. So that's big, man. Just to have the consciousness to know that you can do that means you're even going to be even better at executing it. So I'm ready for it.
So, Kelz, we've been talking about the players to watch per DallasCowboys.com. We already know Jayshawn Barham. We're going to see him for the first time tonight. We talked about Joe Milton. We even talked about Nate Thomas, as they're talking about moving him around from the left to the right and possibly being a swing. But we got one of your favorite players coming up next, talking about Luke Schoonmaker.
That ain't
these reps are critical for the former second-round pick. It's beginning to appear as if Brevin Spanford, I'm sorry, I got him confused. That's your guy, right? Brevin Spanford.
Yeah,
might have surpassed him on the depth chart, and undrafted rookie Michael Trigg made some waves in preseason debut. I mean, I've been hearing even the Cowboys Can Fan podcast has went on record and said that they think that the Schoonmaker could not make the 50. Schoonmaker might get cut. How you're feeling about Schoonmaker tonight? What is some of the things you're looking for in the tight end unit, or as you think Brevin Spanford got it locked up? You think it's going to be his? You think they're going to push him out?
He's definitely.
We got some technical difficulties going on.
Be our TE2.
So you believe, you said Schooney's, all I got out of that was Schoonmaker's going to be tight end too. I don't know. She's locking up. We're gonna have to get her back on her. Kelz, if you could back out and then try to come back in, you got a bad connection. I'll share the link back in the comments below, so that way you got the link. Apologize about that. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty as we kick off the pregame show for the Cardinals, which is going to start in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, tight end, man, that's a big one for us. At least TE2. But listen, historically, TE2 for us has been a horrible position to be in, because we really don't give TE2s a hell of a lot of chances. If I can go back to who was behind Jay Novacek, all the way up to Jason Witten, those TE2s and TE3s were primarily used for blocking and rarely thrown to. So the fact that we're even thinking about a TE2 or even a TE3 catching passes in real games is pretty crazy. But I don't think that we've seen a lot out of Schoonmaker, if I'm being honest. And I feel like there's just been more buzz out of Trigg in the short time he's been with the team than Schoonmaker has been.
Yeah, you was breaking up on the Schoonmaker bit there, Kelz. Now that we got you back, you said Schoonmaker, you believe, is tight end too?
No.
Okay.
Brev. Don't do
Brev. Okay, got you.
Brev.
Put words in my mouth.
I was like, damn, she just said she didn't like that kind of Kool-Aid, but she just drank it. So I was trying to understand.
I said Brev is definitely our TE2.
All right.
As far as Schooney is concerned, I do have the projected number of players that will be carried in each position. So when we look at the tight end room, we're going to carry 4. So it's going to be Ferg as your TE1. TE2 is Spanford. Trig more than likely is going to be TE3. Now, who's going to be the TE4? We can't say. Well, we do have that interchangeable with
Hunter Lipke.
But the thing about the TE4 spot, that's normally like your special teamers.
Yeah.
So that used to be Princeton Fant.
Yeah. ACL injury out for the season.
Right. So I'm thinking if we do keep Scooney, he may be the TE4 and then he will go into special teams.
Tough pill to swallow.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen 3 preseason games worth for the Dallas Cowboys after. I mean, I was super excited about the first preseason game to be able to look at the quarterback 2 battle and other things that are going on. There's a lot of competition going around in a lot of positions on this team, and there's going to unfortunately be some guys that aren't going to make it. But Kelz, now that we got you on the show, not shortly after we clipped that Trayshawn Holden muffed punt, he was released from the Cowboys, and that's a sign showing from the Cowboys they're not playing around. I believe they said they released him to make room so that way they could sign Von Miller. Is that what you're hearing, or how did that go based off your
because
intel?
That would have mean we would have had 93 or 94 players on the roster, and normally going into like like all the camps and everything, you need to have at least 91. It's technically 91 players, but if you are carrying a player from the International Pathway Program, then it's 92. We already
is that Shiza Pete for us? Is that who that is?
No.
Oh, okay.
I said his name.
Yeah, I couldn't remember because all the hype is around Shiza Pete. Shout out to the Navajo Nation, Indians, all those folks. You know what I mean? I know they're big on Shiza Pete.
Yeah, he's
especially out there playing in Arizona. There's a lot of folks pulling for him.
He's not considered international. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
All right, Eric Taylor's tapping in, says Trig looks like tight end 3. Schoolmaker might be tight end 4 or a practice squad tight end. I'm telling you, maybe the Cowboys fan might be onto something because think about it. If Fant didn't get hurt, it's even more competition because Fant's been trying to make this team. And, there's going to be a lot of players we're going to see, and we're going to come back and we're going to review that. I believe we're all 3 locked in for the 53-man roster review. That 53-man roster is going to be
and Gutierrez, offensive lineman.
Okay, the International Pathway player.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So we're locked in for the August 30th. We should have the 53-man final roster before we tap in at 3 p.m., 6 p.m. your time on August 30th. Right, Kelz?
Yes. And I just posted the players who is not suited up. Jashawn Barham is not suited for this game.
Ooh. Cowboys reporting that they're going to see him tonight. This is per the Cowboys.com. Let's see. They just published this today. Oh, that changed quick. So we'll see. Luke Schoonmaker, we already covered that. So let's get to Jonathan Mingo. This wide receiver room got some competition going on. And I remember seeing Jonathan Mingo hawk down a touchdown potentially on special teams. The battle at wide receiver behind the top 3 spots is hot and heavy. Kavontae Turpin will make the roster, period. Ooh. They're already putting that out. There's a lot of folks out there believe he was going to get cut or not make it. Camden Brown, the electric rookie plucked from the UDF rank, undrafted free agent ranks, has an exceptional camp and eye-popping 2 touchdowns last weekend, right? But let's talk about Mingo. What do we need to see from Mingo tonight, Kelz? Is Mingo going to make this squad? Because this wide receiver unit is getting thick.
Okay, hold on. I just posted the players in the chat, so people don't have to leave off the show to see it. Okay, back to your question. So the Cowboys will be carrying 6 wide receivers. So let's count who is going to be.
Well, it's got to be 1, 2, Turpin, and then who the other 2?
Camden Brown.
1, that's 5.
Then
who could be 6? Shit.
Well, I mean, we just repaid. I mean, we just extended Kavontae Turpin for the folks that's saying, "Oh, he's not gonna make it. He's not no regular wide receiver." I mean, this dude's like only best punt return or best kick returner in the league.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now,
why would we want to get rid of him? I mean, he moonlights as a wide receiver, as a gadget guy.
Right.
But his primary role on the team is special teams.
Special teams. So I would like for Mingo, because we have to make this 4th round trade worth something. I would not mind him being special teams because I rewatched that first preseason game and he did pretty good as a special return receiver. So I would not. If anybody has known me and watched during these shows, I have always said we needed another returner to collab with Turpin, especially if Turpin is going to be on the field with Dak. And we need someone, so he could keep his legs fresh and we don't have to keep, burning him, almost like what we did with Zeke. So I would not mind having Mingo to return. But then also we got Anthony Smith, our draft pick from this year that I really like. So
what about Blue? Blue was good doing that. I mean, if he's going to try and make the team, that might be the way to do it. I don't know.
But he dropped it a couple of times. I don't know.
Shit. Yeah.
Who we talking about? Who we talking about?
Jaden Blue.
He dropped it in Seattle?
No, he dropped it a couple of times for special team purposes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I remember hearing that,
and training camp.
I remember hearing our rookie Caleb Downs was taking punts and talking to
Cavante
Turpin.
You're not
you know what I mean?
There's no way they would mess with that.
Because that was going to be my next question. If Cavante Turpin is not the return guy, say something happens, like who's the backup? Like how many return guys do we know how many return guys are on the roster, Kelz? I know you said 6 wide receivers.
So let's go. So right now we currently have 4. Well, technically we have 3 special teamers, which is our battery pack. It used to be 4, but CJ Goodwin is no longer there. So the main 4 will be our battery pack plus another positional player. And then the rest of them will be out of this roster will be those positional players will make up the special teams unit. So I don't know. Because right now, like I said, the active roster is 53. And this is what people need to also get. When players are dressed for game day, we are only carrying 46 to 48 players per game. And these positional players will make up the special teams unit. So if we're looking at 2 to 3 quarterbacks, however they decide to do it, like an exact 3 or the 2 QBs with the emergency 3rd QB. Running backs is 3 to 4. The fullback is 1. The wide receiver is 6. The O-line is between 9 to 10. When you look at defense, you got 6 for edges, defensive interior linemen, and defensive tackles. We're looking at 4 to 5. Linebackers, we're looking between 5 to 6. Secondary, we are going to cover 6 cornerbacks. And safety, we're going to carry 4. So it's probably going to be like 2 free safeties and 2 strong safeties. So whoever don't make this 40, whoever don't make like the front offensive line and the front defensive line, and that's also including your first level, your second level, and your third levels on defense. The rest of those players will be filling in spots for special teams. I hope that made some kind of sense.
Yeah.
But
thank you for breaking that down a little bit and giving us some context on this 53-man roster. I know we'll button it down and get it all hammered out on the 30th. But if you were just paying attention, in case you've been asking, I know a lot of folks have been asking, how do you watch the game tonight? Well, it's on ESPN. It's also on YouTube TV and NFL Plus. I've shared that link down in the comments below. So that way you are in the know, because this is the last game of the evening. And with that being said, I mean, we only got one more preseason game against the Saints. And, I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to be the breakout player. who's going to be the breakout player of this game? So we seen Camden Brown last game. We didn't have a prediction because, I was at the game. We didn't have a pregame and a postgame show. But for tonight, I want to say, I want to ask both of y'all, Kelz, I just throw it to you first. Who do you think might be breaking out in tonight's game? Which player?
It's not going to be Cam Brown because I want him bubble wrapped. I want him done. I'm going to throw it in there. It's going to be running back Israel Abanaconda.
Yeah, he had some carries last. And there's been some debate about running back 2, and some are leaning towards Malik Davis, Kelz, that running back 2 is not just locked in for Jaden Blue, that Malik Davis is his to steal.
Y'all ready? Malik Davis is your RB2.
No doubt. That's who I think is going to blow. That's who I think is going to go off tonight, if I'm being honest.
Is that who you got breakout player tonight, Bob?
Yep, for sure.
Which one?
I think Malik will make the most impact for his plays than people will think.
Yeah,
let's look at this thing again. Is he playing?
Well, my prediction is I'm still looking at this quarterback 2 unit because it's important that we've got a solid quarterback and there's a good battle that's going on right now. We've seen Sam Howell in the first half of Seattle. We've seen Joe Milton in the second half of Seattle. I did see an uptick in the offense, even though we both seen both quarterbacks throw a touchdown to Cam Brown, who Kelz said she wants to bubble wrap. And I think that solidified his spot on this team too as well. But this quarterback 2 battle, I'm whoever starts tonight in the first half, I think it's their battle to win. So I'm predicting that whichever quarterback starts, I'm hearing is Joe Milton. If they can come in and get it going, their stock is probably going to rise in this QB2 battle. And so if it's Joe Milton, it's Joe Milton. But if it's Sam Howell, I'm just saying my breakout prediction is going to be which quarterback starts in this first half. I think they're going to be the better quarterback of this game. But let us know in the comments below, who do you hope is your breakout player? Because we're going to circle the block after the game to come back on the post-game report to find out who, because like last week, I didn't know who Camden Brown was before that game. Did you, Bob?
Hell no.
Did you, Kelz?
On the team?
Nah. So Michael Trigg will not be playing tonight due to a toe injury. This just came in.
Okay. So no Michael Trigg tonight.
Caleb Downs is not playing tonight.
Figured that much.
Hold on, I'm seeing because I'm getting a whole flood of text.
So pretty much stat pro quo, right? No starters. I mean, especially we seen a little bit of Caleb last week, but no Caleb this week. Just makes sense. A lot of folks are screaming, "Oh, they should be practicing." Oh, you see all the other starters. Well, look.
Yeah. So here's some
had this
more,
debate.
Here's some more cornerback. Healthy and playing. Okay, so Jashawn Barham, he is playing.
Okay, so DallasCowboys.com was right.
Yeah. Devin Moore.
Yeah, that guy's tall. I seen him. That's a big guy. I seen him on the sideline. I was like, who is he? Moore.
He's a nice little tall dude. Safety Zion Childress is playing. The players that will not be playing is Caleb Downs, PJ Locke, TJ Bass, Von Miller, of course, and Marquise Bell.
Well, there you have it. Let us know in the comments below as we round it out. We're about 40 minutes in. We got game time in about 27 minutes.
Only 2 tight ends are suited up for this game. Luke Schoonmaker and Zach Kuntz. Joe Milton will start the first half, then Sam Hill will finish it off. Let me get your green dot helmet. All right, keep talking while I find that out. I'm gonna ask that question.
Yeah, y'all let us know in the comments below because we're gonna circle back around, like we said, for the post-game show on who you think your breakout player is. Kelz is giving us some intels. Bob, is there anything else you're looking forward into in this game other than the running back? Because I know you said you like Malik Davis. It's his to win for running back too.
It's just such an important thing because we don't want to wear down Javonte to the point where, second year, he ran the hell out of the ball last year. Having somebody to do a better job spelling him is really important. But yes, outside of that, I still think we need to keep looking on defense for improvement. So outside of the star position of RB2, I'm looking to see what these corners can do today. I'm looking to see if the linebackers even make an impact, if they're communicating, if there's anybody out there showing themselves to be a leader. That's what I'm looking for, because this defense is different. It's already different. And you know Christian Parker is also out there looking for the next dude who's out there making correct decisions, making sure everyone's making the right adjustments. So, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on those defensive players. We feel like there's always pressure on coaches, but, man, it's on the players this year, man. Big time.
Barham is wearing the green dye helmet.
Ooh, first appearance and the green dye. Ooh, talk about big expectations. Hey, I think we're all on to something. Even Wise Fool Stupid Smart says, hey, Schoon on the block. I think with that news, Kelz, of him and only one other tight end suiting up, it looks like they're like, all right, Schoon, you ready to go out there? It might be an audition for him to go to another team. What do you think?
I mean, that's what preseason is. It's not only for Cowboys evaluation, it's for other team evaluations as well. So once the 53-man roster is done, this is just something to turn into the league, because that 53-man roster will repeatedly change when it's time for week 1. And once that happens, you have like a 24 hour wire window that will piece together your practice squad. So it's almost like another draft period. Right. And
is there a possibility you think maybe Trayshawn Holden comes back to the practice squad?
Yeah. If someone don't tag him, I was wondering if the Texans was going to snag him because they had a wide receiver that went out for the season, but apparently they signed 2 other wide receivers. So it's still a possibility for Trayshawn Holden to sign to the practice squad. But how the Cowboys going to do it? Like, are they going to tuck them away? Like I told you how the Cowboys hide players. If they really like you, they will put you
musical chairs on the practice squad in Dallas is like a whole tune. You know what I mean? That's a whole jukebox.
If they really like you, they will hide you on the practice on the injury reserve.
There you have it. As we go ahead and close it up, we got game time here in about 13 minutes going on. So we appreciate everybody tapping in on all 3 platforms. We may have had some technical difficulties getting in, but I'm pretty sure all 3 of us will be here back after the show, because we're all going to be excited to find out what we learned from the first half and the second half from these guys trying to make this 53-man roster, which, by the way, will be locked in August 30th. Make sure and circle the date. The event is already up. August 30th at 3 p.m. on the West Coast, 6 p.m. on the East Coast. We're going to have that 53-man roster, but we'll be live right here at midnight on the East Coast, 9 p.m. on the West Coast, or if not sooner, depending on when the game is over with. But either way, win, lose, or tie, you know we're going to go live. It's the Big 3. We out. We'll see you on the post-game show in the gym on the next episode.
Cowboys.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing.